Hello friends, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to build another Spring Boot application named Product Store. In this, the purpose of this application to learn how to integrate the another technology called Elasticsearch in your Spring Boot application. If you don't know what is the Elasticsearch, then I will give you the small overview what exactly the Elasticsearch is. So if you see, Elasticsearch is the open search, free, distributed and analytical engine for all type of the data. What type of the data? It include the textual, numerical, structured and unstructured data. Let me explain you with some use cases for what purpose it exactly using. So this is the e-commerce website of Amazon. So if you see the some use cases like if you type some word headphone, you wanted to purchase this headphone, then if you simply type a single word or keep on tapping the letters, there will be the list is coming automatically in beneath of that. So that is also that feature is called autocomplete, which can be also be implemented using the Elasticsearch. I don't know how the Amazon implemented here, but it can be possible using the Elasticsearch. Another advantage, another use case of using the Elasticsearch is that if you made some spelling mistake while typing your product, for example, I am typing this and I missed the one letter here in the headphone. You can see after the P, I missed the H letter, but still I am getting the correct result in the autocomplete part or which is automatically giving the suggestions to me. So that is called fuzzy search or fuzzy searching. So what is fuzzy searching? Fuzzy searching is one that is lenient towards the spelling error. So this is the example of fuzzy searching. Another and the most important use case is this one. So let's suppose you want to search something and you don't know what exactly you want to search. You simply type a one letter or one word called spring. Now if you click on the spring, it will automatically give you the results of all the things which contain the term spring in either in the description or it can be on the title of that product. So if you see here, there is a spring, actual spring is coming in this. Here there is a one book called Spring. So whatever the things available in the Amazon data storage which contain the term spring, that is automatically coming in the result in front of the user. That type of the searching we called full text search. It means like if you type a single letter, then it will retrieve the details of all the products or all the documents which contain that term spring or even not even more term than spring. So that is the full text search or full text search is the feature which is supported by the Elasticsearch. If you compare this feature with the NoSQL databases or relational database or you can say SQL database, then the performance of that the databases are very low compared to Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch work in a better way and give you the fast result in compared to other relational or non-relational databases. Another use case, if you see another use case of Elasticsearch is analytics. So if you wanted to prepare, you are wanted to get some output or you're preparing some chart or graph based on some type of the data. You wanted to do some analysis. So for that purpose also the Elasticsearch work in a better way compared to other databases like NoSQL or relational databases. So this is the few use cases I have mentioned here. Now come to the next. So here, this is the final product or the application will look like when we develop completely in this tutorial. Let me give you the very brief introduction what is exactly this product is. So this product is or this application, the major purpose of this application is to store the detail of the product whatever you having in your warehouse. Okay, and suppose you have the online store where you want to show the all the product whatever present in your warehouse to the online customers. So what you will do, you will add all the products details in your online portal. So let's suppose that product details contains the ID, name, description, and price of that products. So if the end user come, they can view that products and they can place a order or they can purchase it. If you think there is some mistake in the description or the name, then you can simply use the update feature of this application. If you click on the update, then it will open the new form where you can do the editing part of the existing descriptions or the price or the naming thing. So let me show you the exact application. So this is the application which is running in my local system at port number 8080. So if you click on the update, this form will appear in front of you, and if you want to make the correction, you can do this. Great book to learn something. Learn. Okay, if you want to change the price, you can change it and click on update product. So once you've done this, and if you refresh the page, then automatically you can see here this the line number last one which we have updated. Great book to learn, and we updated the price as well, 101.9. So this is the update feature. Suppose if you don't want this book or some particular product to show to the online customers, then you can simply remove it by using the delete button. Even if you want to add more product, you can use the add product button here. So this is the like higher view understanding of the application which we are going to develop in this tutorial. The next part is one of the very important thing to understand about the Elasticsearch comparison with the relational database. If you see in the relational database, we have the concept of called database, but in the case of Elasticsearch, which we call index. Similarly, we have the concept of table. Here we have detail type. We have the row in the relational database. Here we call the documents. Similarly, for the column, here we have the field. For index, we have the analysis. And for schema, we have the mapping. So schema means when you are creating some table, you define the fields, you define the data type of that particular fields. That is the schema of that particular table or that particular table which contain that fields. Similarly, in the concept of Elasticsearch, we call mapping. For physical partitions in the relational database, we have the term in Elasticsearch called SART. So we have the SQL, we have the query DSL in the Elasticsearch. So this is the little bit comparison between the Elasticsearch and the relational database. Now, before moving forward, I wanted to show you one important thing, that whatever I am going to cover in this tutorial, I have already documented in the form of article and already available online in this portal. This is the my website where I post all the articles or all the things whatever I explain in the video form, so that the users or the person who, like you, if you stuck in future, you can simply revisit this website or this article and you will able to get the solution wherever you are stuck in the future. So here I have documented in the form of steps. I have covered total 11 steps in order to build this application. So if you see, this is the step number one, step number two, you simply has to follow these steps and you will able to build this application which I showed you like this. This is the final application. What are the operation it supports, like add the new product, update the existing products, remove the product, or retrieve all the products. So here in the Elasticsearch terminology, we can say add the new document, update the existing documents, remove the documents, or delete the documents, and at the last, retrieve all the documents present in your Elasticsearch, or in the more specific terms, present in your index that we called the database in the relational database. So that are the things we are going to cover in this tutorial. Now let us start building this application. I will follow this article only and we will build this application by following each steps. So the very first thing what you need to do, you need to understand what are the tools we are going to require for this application. The very first thing is Spring Boot 2.7.2. Next, the spring-boot-starter-data-elasticsearch of 2.7.1. Then we need Elasticsearch 8.3.2. Right now, the current version while recording this video is 8.3.2. Then we will use the Maven, and last we will use the Java 17. In the very first thing, what you need to do, you need to download and install the Elasticsearch. If you don't have the Elasticsearch in your local system, please click on this link. You will redirect to the Elasticsearch download or install portal. So if you are using the Linux or the Mac operating system, please use this link to download that. If you are using the Windows, then click on this button or click in this link to install that zip file on your Windows. So once you click on this .zip on your Windows, then it will be get downloaded on your system. So what you need to do, then extract it. Right click on the Elastic zip folder and extract here. Once you extract, you will get the Elasticsearch folder. So already I have downloaded and installed in my system. I can show you this is the Elasticsearch, not this one, the selected one 8.3.2. So once you extract it, then just rename or just let it be like that. The next thing, disable the default security feature in the Elasticsearch. Since here we are using the Elasticsearch version above 8, so by default the security is enabled in the Elasticsearch. But for this project, I am disabled at this feature to get a more understanding on the core feature of the Elasticsearch. So what are the steps you need to follow to disable the security in the Elasticsearch? Go inside the Elasticsearch folder, which you have extracted at the last, and rename it as Elasticsearch. So if you want, you can rename it, but I did not rename it. So this is the folder. Once you extract it, then open the Elastic folder, which you just rename, and go inside the config folder. So let me show you. This is the config folder. You need to go inside that. So if you see here, there is a one file called elasticsearch.yaml. Just right click and edit with Notepad++. So it will open in your local system. So this is the configuration file which Elasticsearch uses when you run that in your local system. So already I have disabled or commented out all the security related properties in this YAML file. But if you don't want to go the manual process to do commenting with yourself, then what you need to do, you just have to download that YAML file from this link. I have put on my repository on the GitHub. Just you need to download this file elasticsearch.yaml. So it is already commented out what is not relevant for this project. Just you need to download it and place it here under the config file here in this, replace with the existing one. So same thing I have written here. If you see, right click and open the elasticsearch.yaml in Notepad++, comment out all the property related to its security and add the following properties inside the YAML file. Okay, so it will disable the security properties or security feature in the Elasticsearch. So the next thing, a step to run the Elasticsearch in your local system. So already one of the Elasticsearch is running in my system. Let me close this or stop it so that I can show you what you need to do. The steps to run the Elasticsearch. Go inside the Elasticsearch folder which you have extracted and at the last and renamed it as Elasticsearch. Okay, let me go here. This is the Elasticsearch folder. I come here, then open the command prompt under the Elasticsearch folder. So just come here and type cmd. It will open the command prompt here. Now enter the following command to run the Elasticsearch. So just copy this command and place it here and click on enter. It will take few minutes, like 1 minute at least, to start this Elasticsearch in your local system. So let's wait for a minute or you can move forward. All right, I think Elasticsearch is start running on my local system. Let me cross verify here. If you see, let me open this command prompt in a big screen. So if you see it is started. Okay, so you can cross verify by visiting the port number 9200, which is the default port on which the Elasticsearch start running 9200. If it is start running perfectly, then you will able to see this thing. So now come to the article. Here I have written press enter. If everything works fine, then the Elasticsearch will start running on port localhost 9200 and it will look like shown in the below figure. So for unique based platform, please refer to here. Now this is the final project structure, how our project will be look like what are the class required to develop this application. Now move on to the next. Let's start building the project. Create the Spring Boot application. For that, in the very first step, create the project from the Spring Initializer. So let me click on this link and go here. So enter the group name. I'm giving my website name. You give whatever you want. Give the artifact name. So I will just copy it from here. Give it here. This is the artifact name. I am using the 17 Java version. Now add the following dependencies: Spring Wave, Spring Data Elasticsearch, and Theme Leaf. So let's click on the add dependency and write Spring Wave. Okay, add more dependencies like Spring Elasticsearch, Spring Data Elasticsearch. Another we want Theme Leaf. As I told you earlier, we having some UI part, so that is developed on Theme Leaf. Now next, click on Generate button. Once you click on generate button, it will automatically download it on your system, that zip file. Just click on show in folder. Okay, this is the thing. It is downloaded on your system. Right click and extract in the file or in the folder where you want to extract it. So it has extracted. Now come and import in your IDE. So let me go and click on file, open. As you can see, it is importing in my IDE. I am using the IntelliJ IDEA. You can use the Eclipse as well. There's no much difference while doing the import. So once it will imported, then I will explain you each part. Now as you see, it is imported perfectly. Now as you can see, it is imported perfectly in my IDE, that is IntelliJ IDEA I am using here. Okay, so this is the one file I have. Now come to the article once more time. Now follow the next step. So in the step one, create the project, go to the Spring Initializer. Already we have done, enter the group name. We already done. We have completed the step one. Step 2 is also completed. Click on the generate button. Step 3, unzip it. 3 is also completed. Step number 4, import the project in your IDE such as Eclipse or IntelliJ IDEA. Already done. Now come to the major part, like step number 5. We need to create the class to configure the connect configuration to connect with the Elasticsearch running in your local system. Let me first check my Elasticsearch is running or not. So you can see it is already running in my local system. So you need to verify that it must be running in your local system. Now let us create the Elasticsearch configuration class. So what I will do, I will just copy all this code and paste it in my local system or in my local ID. Let me close this workspace which is not required for this project. Yeah, so this is the thing. Uh, I'm going to create a class, right click on the package name, click on new, click on Java class and give the paste the name from there, from the article. So this is the Java class is created. Basically it is Elasticsearch configuration class. Now I'm going to copy and paste the code. Why I am doing this? Because the major purpose of recording this tutorial to make you understand how the every parts or the line of code work. You can easily find the code anywhere in the internet, but my major motive is to explain how the things are working. So let us understand one by one. The very first thing, we have created a method called getREST So if you see, I am using the REST client, which is the part of, if you see that it is a part of org.elasticsearch.client package, which is coming through the Elasticsearch. Now let's jump into the article where already I have explained each things. Very first things, configuration annotation. It indicates that class can be used by the Spring IOC container as a source of bin definition. That it contains the method tag with the bin annotation which return the object. Next, we use the bin annotation. It tells the Spring that a method annotated with bin will return an object that should be registered as a bin in the Spring application context. Since we are using the three methods which actually returning the bin object, that is the REST client. Another one, it is returning the Elasticsearch transport, and then it also returning the Elasticsearch client. Let me explain you what is the purpose of all these methods. Come to the article. The first method, get_rest client. This method is used to configure the URL and the port on which your Elasticsearch is running. So let me show you. So here you need to configure the URL and the port number on which your Elasticsearch is running. So right now it is running on 9200 and the local host. The next method we have, it return the transport object whose purpose is to automatically map our model class to the JSON and integrate them as a API client. So it will automatically convert your model objects. For in this case, I use a one model object, that is product. It will automatically convert that model object into the JSON, and when it call the API client, it will pass as a JSON. Automatically all this process done by using this method, get Elasticsearch client. The second one, this one, and it will return the object of Elasticsearch transport. Now come to the another method, get Elasticsearch client. It returns the bin of Elasticsearch client, which we further use to perform all the query operation with the Elasticsearch. So as you know, Elasticsearch is acting as a data source or storage where we need to perform some query operations. So for that, this get Elasticsearch client method return an object of name Elasticsearch client. So if you see the package from where it is coming actually, so you can see it is coming from co.elastic.client.elasticsearch. So using this Elasticsearch client, we are going to perform the various query operations like searching or adding or updating the products or the documents in the Elasticsearch. So now see the next step we need to create the model class. Okay, so the name of the model class is product. Let me copy the name and create that class. So right click on the package, go to new, click on Java class. Paste the name here. Can you see the class is created? Now come to the article, just copy all these codes. And you already know why I'm doing the copy paste here, the code, because the major part is to explain this thing. Now jump to the on the article again. Explanation. I have written the explanation for each thing, whatever we have used in this application. So if you read that, our model class will be represent the document structure in the Elasticsearch, which contain the mentioned fields. So whenever any document is created in the index name products, then it will have the four fields. As I told you in the earlier, like the comparison part. So if you compare with the relational database, as I told you that in the case of Elasticsearch, we have the concept of index in the concept of index, but in the case of relational database we call database. Okay, and that for the document, we for the row we have the document concept. So if you see, the purpose of this product model class is to represent that document structure. Okay, so here I have used some of the annotations which is specific to the Elasticsearch. For example, the document annotation we have used. So to specify the index, in our case, the index name is product. So the document annotation is used to specify the name of the index. So if you compare with the relational database, you can say the name of the database that is used to represent. Now come to the another annotation ID, which is used to represent the field underscore ID of the document, and it is unique for each message. So since we have the concept of the primary key, which we already use in the relational database as a ID, similarly here also it has the concept of ID, which we call annotate with @ID annotation. Next annotation we use is the field annotation. It represents the different type of the field that might be in our data. Okay, so what are the fields we have? We will have the name, we will have the description, we have the price, and the ID is used as a primary key here if you know the relational database then. So that is the fields and that is the concept of product model class. So here we also require the getter and setter. Let me generate it automatically from the IntelliJ. Right click, go to generate button, click on that and generate the getter setter. Here it will ask to select. I will select all the fields and click on OK. Now you can see the all the getter and setter methods has been generated automatically using this IntelliJ. Now move to the next step. What is the next step we have? We need to create the repository class to perform all the query operation on Elasticsearch. So let me give you the very brief introduction about this part. There are three ways for which one can perform the operation like create, read, or update or delete operation on Elasticsearch. So that you can going to do in this repository class. So for that purpose, you can either use the Elasticsearch client, you can use the Elasticsearch REST template, or you can use the Spring Data repository. But in my project, I am using the Elasticsearch client. So here I have given one important note to use the advanced query like aggregation, suggestions, and then it is recommended to use either Elasticsearch client or Elastic REST template. So if I talk about the Elasticsearch REST template, Spring Data Library provides this template. You don't have to do anything. It will automatically provide by the Spring Data Library. Now let me, since I am using the Elasticsearch client, I already explain you in the configuration class from where we are getting the Elasticsearch client. If you see this from here, we are getting the Elasticsearch client and we register as a bean at the application startup itself. So that we can use in the another class as a part of dependency injection, and I will call the some of the predefined methods which is present under this Elasticsearch client to perform all the query operations. So here I am using the Elasticsearch client. Let me copy and paste this Elasticsearch query code. So first let's create the class of Elasticsearch. Let me copy this. Go to your IDE and right click on the package and click on new, click on Java class and paste it here. So once you're done, the Elasticsearch class has been created. Now come here, copy all this. Make sure the import statement must be correct. Okay, just copy all this code and I will explain you what is each line of what is the each method is doing in present in this class. All right, let me close this extra window and now come to the starting part. So here if you see I have auto-wired or injected the Elasticsearch client which already register which already we have registered as a bean at application startup. Now come to the another thing like we declare the final variable index name which contain the name of the index. The very first method which is like create or update the document. Now come to the article where I explain each method about each method. So the first one is create or update the document. If if you see, if the index does not exist in the Elasticsearch, then it will create automatically and insert the document in that. So, and if the document already present in that index, then it will update the fields under fields value under it. So what is the meaning of that? Suppose in the Elasticsearch, you don't have the index named products. Okay, that index is not available in your Elasticsearch. So when you execute this method, or when this method get executed, then it will create automatically create that index for you in the Elasticsearch. But suppose in case you already manually created the index in your Elasticsearch, then in that case, it will the one purpose, it will do only one thing, that it will update or create the document under that index. Okay, so that is the meaning. So why I have given the name create or update document? Because if the document already exists, for already I have told you in the very introduction part, like this one, let me show you. This one we have the update button. So if you want to perform the update on this row or in this description for this particular product name book, then you simply use the update button. And if you go internally, it is simply calling the same method which we are using for create. So if your document is already exist with the ID, then it will update it. Okay, and it will return the response here. In from the response, you will able to identify or differentiate whether it is document has created or updated. So it will return the response, and that you will find one method called result, and in that there's a name. So if the name is equals to created, it means the document was not present earlier, but once you added it, then it created. So you will get that document has been successfully created. So this message you will able to see when you perform this activity using the Postman. Right. The next one, if you get the name as updated in the response, then it means the document was already present, but you have updated some fields in under that documents. Okay, so that is the response object, which is of type index response, that is giving some of the important information about created document creation or document updation. Similarly, we have the another method called get document by ID. So here you need to use the ID to retrieve the document. Okay. So here you need to specify the ID number. For example, here you can see the ID 1001, 1002. So once you keep the ID number here pass, then it will retrieve that document for you. And similarly, in the response, you will get the response of type get response, and you have to mention the model name like product. So it will return, it will have the one method called font. If it is true, basically it is a boolean. If it is true, it means you got some product. So what you need to do, you need to return the details of the product from the response, which contain the method called source. From there, you will get the detail of the product, and simply you print it if you want, or you simply return it. So now the next method we have the delete document by ID. Similarly, we saw how to retrieve based on the product ID. Similarly, you can do it by you can delete the document by using the product ID. So once you use here, you need to use the delete request class, that is the predefined class, and the off method of that, and you need to pass as index name here and the product ID. So once you create this request, it is basically create the request delete request object for you. Then you need to pass it in the delete method of the Elasticsearch client here. So once everything work fine, you will get the delete response object, and that will contain the result. You need to, what I'm checking here, I'm checking whether the result is null or not. If it is null, then I'm retrieving the name method, and I'm equating with not font. So I'm checking with not font, and I make it false. Means if the document exists with the product ID this, then document has been deleted, and it will give you the message like this. The document ID has been deleted. So product not found. And finally, if the product is not exist, if this condition is get filled, it means product does not exist for that particular document ID, then it will give you the document does not exist. Similarly, we have the another method called search all documents. You need to construct the search request or the search object and pass it into the search method of Elasticsearch client. And also you have to specify the model object class here. Or in this case, I have specified like product.class. Now, once you get the search response, in that response, you will see the hits. Under that hits, there will be another hits, and you will able to see the hits. Hits is actually represent the total number of like documents available in your Elasticsearch. So once you get this, you iterate through the hits, and you what you do, you append or add into the list and return that list finally to the end user. So this is this actually giving the list of the products are available in your Elasticsearch. If you see our home page, you can see here actually the once you open this home page, automatically this API get triggered and it return all the available documents or the product present in your index. Okay, so that are the things which is available in this class, query class. So I have already explained all the things in this article, all the things you need, you can follow it if you want. Now come to the step number 8. We need to create the controller class. So let me first copy this. One second, let me just copy that step number 8, right? Step number 8. Okay, yeah. So let's create the controller class. I will copy the name of the class. Now go to your workspace, right click on here, click on Java class and paste it the name here. So once you paste it, just minimize this, go and copy the whole code, including the import statement. Okay, copy it, paste it here. Let me explain you what are the things we are using here in this. The very first one, we have the post mapping, create or update document. It is the same API API which we use to create or update the document. Next, we have the get mapping, like get the document based from the indexed. When we have the delete mapping, like you have to delete if you want to delete the document of the product, you can delete from your index. Similarly, for the search document, it will retrieve all the documents present in your index. So that all the things are defined in this Elasticsearch controller class, and it is returning in the form of response. So if you see, it is basically calling the Elasticsearch query class, which already we discussed in the previous step. So if you go inside this method, create or update, basically it is coming here. So that is under the controller class. Now move into the article again. So up to this step, you can easily able to create, read or update or delete the document present in the Elasticsearch using the Postman. Please download and import the .json in the Postman to get all the API collections. So if you want to get the collections of the APIs, whatever I used, means whatever required for performing all the CRUD operations like create, update or delete or read the documents, you can just use this collection.json and import into your Postman and perform all the operation. Okay, but if you are interested in adding some UI part like front end part, then to get some look and view to the application, then you are most welcome to follow the next step. So then in next step, we are going to add the HTML file in the folder name templates. As you know, earlier we have added the dependency of theme leaf, which is supported the UI development for under the Spring application. So for this purpose, what I'm going to do, I will create the template file or the package or the folder and place the HTML code under that. So for that purpose, I have already hosted the link under the link, all the HTML file, or it will be whatever the required for this thing. So what you need to do, just download all these files. So let me download it. So all the files has been here. So these are the files. So what I'm going to do, I will first go to my IntelliJ or the workspace. I will create the template folder. But for in my case, it is already there. It might be because I already added the dependency of theme leaves. So that's why the templates is here, folder is here. So I will create a .html file here. Right click, go here and choose the file. Okay. And give the name index.html. If you want, you can download directly. I will just copy the content of this file from here. Okay, this is the index.html. Just paste it here. Now the another file we required here is the new product document.html. Just make sure you copy the name correctly because I have used in the another place. So if there is some spelling mistake or some mismatch in the spelling, then it will create the problem. So I will just copy and paste it here. So it will create the another file. Then what I am going to do, I will just copy the content of this file from here. I already hosted on my GitHub repository. You can also follow my step here. Okay, the another file we required for this HTML is update product document.html. Now go and just copy the exact name. Okay, copy it. Go to your workspace, right click on the template, go to new, click on file, div.html. Copy the content from here, the content, and paste it here. All right. I think all the files, whatever necessary, has been created in our workspace. Now move into the article. So step 9 is completed. Now come to the step number 10. Add the UI controller class. So let me first add it or create this class, that is the UI controller. I will copy the name of the class and I will create it here. Right click, go Java class and paste it here. Now I will copy the content. Okay. And paste it here. Let me explain you what are the methods we have used and what are the purpose. The very first thing, you make sure you are using the controller annotation, not the REST controller annotation. If you see in the Elasticsearch controller class, we have used the REST controller because REST controller is a combination of two annotations, controller annotation and response body annotation. So, but we don't want to return any response body in the UI part. That's why we want to use the controller. We want to return the index.html pages whenever some routes get hit. For example, if somebody open the if suppose I run the application, it will hosted on 8080. So once they visit that 8080, it will able to return the index.html. So once you return that name index here, it will automatically go and try to find the file with the name index.html under the template folder. Make sure the dependency of the theme leaf is present in your workspace. Otherwise it will return the string. It will not going to find out the index.html if you don't have the theme leaf dependency in your pom.xml. Okay, so that is the purpose. So let me come to the article where I explain all the thing. First one, it will return the home page of the application. What is the home page? This is the home page, right? The second one is to save the product used to create the product document in the index. So if you click on the add product, it will open the form which I already showed you in the introduction part. It will open, and once you click on the save button, it will call this API and it will save the document. Similarly, if you want to update the document, then it will use this method or the route with the ID. So it will show the page to update the existing document. The next we have to create the new document which contain the product details. Okay, the last one is to delete the document based on the ID. So if you see here, we have the delete button, it will delete that once you click on the delete button. So in the note, I have already mentioned, please use controller annotation, never use REST controller in this class. Since REST controller annotation internally also have the response body annotation, which automatically convert or serialize the response into the JSON, which we don't want in this class, since we are trying to achieve the MVC model view and controller model means design, and need to return the HTML page. The next step, we have to run the application and perform all the CRUD operations. So let's do the final step. Just go to your main class. Where it is the main class? This one. Come here and right click, run as the Java main class. You can see the application is starting running on your local system, Spring Boot application. So yeah, Tomcat initialized with the port 8080. Let's go to your uh, browser and try to see this. What happened? Application failed. So what happened here? The application run failed. We got some error. Okay, so there is some unsatisfied dependency exception we are getting here. So let me tell you why I am getting this error. We need one more dependency to avoid this error. So I missed one point. Let me come back to that starting here. The step number where we add step number 1, create the project from Spring Slicer. If you see, I have added this many dependencies, 3 dependencies, but in the note I have mentioned here, you need to add the dependency of jagrata.json API. So let me first add it, then I will tell you what is the purpose, why I am adding this. Now go to here. Right now it is 2.1.1 version is available. Copy this. Okay. Now go to your pom.xml file and paste it under the dependency section. Let me place it here at the last. Remove this comment part, which is not required for this case right now, and refresh your project or clean your project again. So it is loading that dependency, or it is downloading the jar file for that dependency. Let me tell you. So let me tell you why it is giving the error. So if you see the configuration file, Elasticsearch configuration file, which we have done the configuration part earlier. So here we have registering the bin of Elasticsearch transport, where we use the Jackson JSON mapper. The purpose of this is to automatically convert your model object into the JSON format while calling any Elasticsearch API. Okay, so because of this only we are getting that exception and application was not able to start up and running. So to avoid that thing, to avoid the application failure, we need this dependency which provide the support for that. If you wanted to go in detail why it is happening, what exact error we got, what are the problem, then you can just browse the internet, you will get the solution. So let me check and try to run it again. Go to the main class. But still you can see importing the Maven project, all the things are still in progress. So wait for a minute. I think it is completed. Now go and right click and run the application. Now you can see the application is start getting up. So let's say, let's wait. Yeah, Tomcat initialized with the port 8080. So I think it is started. If you started, then just go to your home page. Localhost 8080. Yeah, so you can see the application has started running on the port 8080. But before moving forward, let's verify that Elasticsearch is running or not. So it is very important to perform any activities on our application like updating or deleting, whatever you want to perform. But before that, you need to verify that Elasticsearch is running or not. So this is the port number 9200 on which the Elasticsearch run. If it is all work, then if it is up, then it will you will get the response something like this. So it means Elasticsearch is in the running state. Now go and perform the all the operations. So let me first right click and click on inspect. I wanted to show you one more thing. Go to the network. So whenever we click on any button like update or add product or delete, I want to show you what exactly happening, what API is getting hit. So, so let's try it by doing this. Let me zoom out little bit so that it will easy to for you to see. Okay, so let's update the this product camera. I will click on the update button. If you see there is a one request get triggered which is in the green mark, and let's open it. Scroll up a little bit. Just zoom in little bit. Yeah, this is the URL get hit. So form for update and there is some ID 1003. That is the get request. If you remember, we already having the controller class, UI controller class. Let me show you. Yes, so this is the controller class where we define all the methods, rods. So here that this rods get hit. So form for update and we are sending the ID. So here what ID we have sent here? We send 1003. That ID come here into the backend side and it will call the get document by ID. So if you go inside that, we already created under the Elasticsearch query method, which I explained you earlier. So based on the product ID and the index name is already we define here, which is the constant and final, and that is the product name of the index. So it will come here and based on the product ID and the index name, it will find the document present in the Elasticsearch and it will return in the response. So once the response come back in the UI controller, here we got the product. It will append add in the model object, which is the part of MVC. If you don't know, just go and revisit that portion. It will add it as as attribute here and we return the one HTML page like update product document. So once it return the update product document, we will able to see this page. This is the page. So here you, if you want to update this, you can just update the price 888. I'm giving the 888 and let me clear this request. This is the old one. Just click on this. It will remove. It is blank now. Now if you click the update, another API get triggered. Can you see the save product get hit? So if you go here, the you got the status is 302 and it called the save product. Now go to UI controller. We have the save product. Can you see? So it will trigger this and it will indirectly calling the create or update the document. So if you see, we already have the document with that ID 1003. Okay, and we pass that product here, complete product as a request as a payload. If you go ahead and see it here, payload, can you see we are passing the ID, we are passing the name, we are passing the description, and price is that the updated value. Now this all the product come into the backend. Where it will come? It will come directly into the UI controller under the same product method. So it will indirectly go inside this create or update, and based on the index name and the product ID, it will update the documents. Since the document is already exists, so it will update the document and it will return the response like document has been successfully updated. So let me close this. Similarly for other also it is working. We updated the price to 888. To get the updated value, you need to refresh the page or you need to click on go home button. Can you see the camera price is updated to 888.0? So that update operation we have performed. Now I want to show you another thing, like come to the Postman. So these are the APIs collections and it is specific to Elasticsearch. It is not our application API. Okay, if you little bit have some knowledge or idea like that, the Elasticsearch having the inbuilt, it is performed all the query operations based on the API like HTTP request. So it has the predefined APIs. If you see, we are pointing to 9200, and here you need to specify the index name, and here you need to mention the API name, which is predefined of the Elasticsearch. It is not our application API. So I let me explain you a little bit what are these four requests I have documented here. The first one is you need to specify the index name. For our case, it is product. If our index is exist in Elasticsearch with the name of product, then we will get some response like this. Let me call this API. See, it returns some response. So let's drag it up little bit, or let me copy it and open in the JSON editor so that you will able to easily see what are the thing. Go to JSON editor, online JSON editor, and paste the response whatever you got it from that API, Elasticsearch API, not the Spring Boot application API. So let's come here and yeah, re remove the existing text. Okay, now paste it here. Okay, make it as a tree. Let me zoom out little bit so that you will able to see properly. Yes, is fine. See, the index is written with the name that is products. It contains the three things: alias, mappings, and settings. These are the concept of Elasticsearch. Maybe I will cover in the future videos. So the major thing is like mappings. So in the mappings, if you there's a properties, and under the properties you will see what are the fields that product that documents actually contain: description, ID, name, and price. And already I told you what is the mappings. Mapping is, if you want to compare with relational database, then mapping is represent the schema, or the while you write the create table query, that is where you define the what are the field type, what is the name of the field, and everything. So these are the four fields like a description, which type of text. This is the data type of the Elasticsearch, that is text here. For ID also we have the text. For name also we have the text. For the price we have the float value. So if you see here, we have the float value that point 0, point 0.9 and all. So this is the first API, which is the product it is returning. Now the another API which is specific to the Elasticsearch, that is the underscore search. So in the Elasticsearch, the convention way, like they are using underscore for any API, underscore then search. So the purpose of this API, it will retrieve all the documents present in the Elasticsearch. Okay, so let's click on send button. Can you see it returns some response? Let me copy that response and paste it into the JSON editor. And I will explain you as well what is that. Okay, let's click on tree so that it can be properly arranged. Let's see, it return the four properties like shards, hits, took. Okay, the major thing we want to see is hits. In the hits, you will see there are total how many hits, like how many things are present. So it actually how many documents are present that it represented under the hits. So it contains total 5 value. If you want to cross verify, just come here. This is the UI. Just refresh it for just proof purpose that our application is running. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 records or the documents are present. That is it come under the hits. Okay, under the value. Maximum score is something concept of the Elasticsearch. I will explain you in the future maybe. Okay, so what are the documents it contain? It contain the document of ID 105 under the index products. If you go to under a score, it will give you the details of that particular document based on the ID. For 1005, we have the notebook, this one, and price is this. Similarly, for others, we have. So if you want to cross verify that our application is working properly or not, so let me give you the small overview like it is working in correct manner. So I am going to update the document or the product notebook, and I am going to update the price here. Right now it is 20.98, right? Now I am updating to 60.1. Okay, click on update. Now click on go home. See here, you will see, yeah, you can see the 60.1, it is updated for notebook. But if you see the old data, which already we have for notebook, so let me show you where it is the notebook. Okay, this one, go to source. See, in the notebook, the old data price is 20.98. Now go to use the API of Elasticsearch. We are not going to use the API of our Spring Boot application here to verify it. Okay, so just go and click on search. It will return the latest data. Since we have price, updated the price of that notebook, let me paste it in other tab so that we can verify properly. Yes, let us arrange it properly. Now go to the product name notebook. This one, last one, notebook. Can you see the latest price is 60.1. The older was 20.98. After updating, it get updated in the Elasticsearch as well from our UI part, from our application. That's why you are getting 60.1 here. So it means the Elasticsearch and our CRUD application are in sync and it is working in proper way. Now move into the another request we have. We have the get request based on the document ID. So let's check. Let's go to the UI part. We have the document of like we have the product of camera with document or ID 1003. So what you need to do, just give the here ID number 1003. So based on the document ID, it will return the detail of that particular document. Can you see? It got ID and font is true, it means that document exists. Let me copy and paste it into the JSON editor so that I can explain in an easy way. So you can see if you want to get the detail, you will find it under the this field underscore source, ID, name, description, and price. If you cross verify with the what is displaying in the UI, we have the ID, camera, price, 888. Okay, so here also 888.0. It means it is correct. Now the another API we have of getting the mapping. Mapping means all the like what is the type of that field ID or description and all. So you can click on send button. So this is the response we got. Let's copy and paste it here. Yeah, so this is the response we got. We got the index name products. Under the mapping, under the product, you will find the we have the ID, we have the name and the price and description. What is the type of description is? Data type is text, which is belongs to Elasticsearch. For ID also we use the text. For price we use the float. For the name also we use the text. So that is all the schema actually it is returning. What is the type and data type of the all the fields and what are the fields are available under that particular documents or any documents present under the products index. So this is the whole working part of the application. So I guess I believe I explained all the things. If you find any difficulties, please go and revisit this article where I have explained each and every part. So let me come into the last step where I left earlier, like a step number 11. We need to run the application and perform all the CRUD operation. So before running application, make sure Elasticsearch is up and running on your system. And once you run the home page will be look as shown below. If you want to get the source code, just click on download source code. You will redirect to my GitHub repository where already I have placed all the things, whatever I explained and whatever they present in this article. Okay, just go and clone it and use in your local system. And yeah, so that is all about this tutorial, and I have given some important reference link, official Elasticsearch documentation, which I refer to create this video and to write the articles. If you want, just go through that link. So that's it. So that is all about what I tried to cover in this article where I explained all the things, how you can integrate the Elasticsearch with the Spring Boot application. So thank you so much for watching this video and I hope you learned something new today and good luck. Thanks.